Okay, in this video we're going to talk about scientific notation and how to do scientific notation on your calculator. First of all, why do we use scientific notation? Because when you have a really large number like this one, you end up with a lot of zeros to write, and if you have a really small number, you also end up with a lot of zeros to write. So to avoid doing that, you can use scientific notation. Now the rule for scientific notation is that you are only allowed to have a digit, you must have a non-zero digit in the ones place when it's in scientific notation. So see these two right here, those are in proper scientific notation. 3.44. The 3 is the ones place. So in other words, you can't have something like 34.4 times 10 to the 7th or something like that. That would not be correct. You must only have a single digit in the ones place. So how do we convert these to scientific notation? The first thing you do is you start with where your decimal is. Okay, and our decimal for the large number is right there, and then you count over the number of places that needs to get the decimal to where it has to be, which is right over there. So counting over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this number is going to be 5.25 times 10 to the 12. And similarly, this number, starting with the 0, it has to end up here. Okay, so you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This will be 5.25 times 10 to the negative 12. So really big numbers end up with positive exponents, and really small numbers end up with negative exponents. Now to convert the other way, if you're starting with scientific notation, you simply you should let this, what I just said, guide you. So when you have a positive exponent like you do with this number, you have a positive 8, okay, as your exponent, which means that this number is large, which means therefore that you should be moving the decimal to the right to get a large number. So you have 3.44, and then you're going to start here, but it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and your decimal point is going to end up there. So then we fill in, there's a 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay? And if you're going the other way and you have a small number with a negative exponent, that means it has to be really small. So you have 3.44. And now to make a small number, the decimal point has to move to the left by 8 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Running out of room. There it is. So 0. Okay, so that's kind of messy, but you get the idea. All right, now the other reason that you use scientific notation is to indicate when some, but not all, of the trailing zeros are significant. So let's say we have this number which is 40,000 right here, but only some of these zeros are significant. Let's say that the ones place is not, the tens place is not, but the hundreds place is, and so is the thousandths, and so is the 10,000. So as it's written, if you're counting the number of sig figs in that number, you'd only say 1, but that's not correct. It has to have 3 sig figs, because this 0 and that 0 are also significant. So scientific notation can help you out in that particular situation, because you can say 4 0.00 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4 times 10 to the 4. And now when you look at that number, you'll see the proper 3 sig figs. Okay, so those are two reasons that you can use it. Some people get run into trouble when they try to do this on their calculators. And let's look at some calculators here. Okay, so we have some calculators, and when you're doing scientific notation, depending on your calculator, you're going to look for some different things. So probably the kind of calculator you have is this kind, and therefore you need to look for this double E, which is on top of the comma button. So you're going to that's the button that you're going to hit. The double E means times 10 to the something, and then you will plug in whatever that exponent number is. Okay, so if you look over here, this is the reason that you need to use that button. Okay, if you do 5 times 10 to the negative fifth divided by 5 times 10 to the negative fifth, you know that the answer has to be 1. Okay, because it's the same thing divided by itself. Okay, so the answer has to be 1. If you type it in properly using the double E button, you will get the answer 1. But if you do what some people do, which is this right here, they don't use the shortcut, they don't use the E or the double E button right there, or the exponent button on some calculators. If you try to type it in using a caret mark and a time sign, you end up with a completely wrong answer, 1 times 10 to the negative 10. So that's why on your calculators, make sure you get into the habit of using the proper button to indicate scientific notation. That's the end of this video. Thank you for listening.